The secret life of flamingos. Standing tall in shallow waters across the globe, flamingos embody an almost mythical elegance that has captivated human imagination for millennia. These rose-colored birds, with their impossibly long necks and backward-bending knees, seem like creatures from another world. Yet beneath their striking appearance lies a complex and fascinating life filled with remarkable adaptations, intricate social behaviors, and survival strategies that have allowed them to thrive in some of Earth's most challenging environments. A living rainbow. The science behind their color. The flamingo's iconic pink plumage isn't a birthright but a carefully constructed advertisement of health and vitality. Baby flamingos emerge into the world covered in gray or white down, gradually developing their signature coloration through years of specialized feeding. The secret lies in carotenoid pigments found in their diet. Microscopic algae, brine shrimp, and other small organisms that contain these natural dyes. As flamingos filter feed through their uniquely adapted beaks, they consume millions of these tiny organisms daily. The carotenoids are absorbed through their digestive system and eventually deposited in their feathers, skin, and even their eyes. The intensity of a flamingo's pink hue directly reflects their nutritional status and feeding success. Birds with access to carotenoid-rich environments display deeper, more vibrant colors, while those in nutrient-poor habitats may appear pale or even white. This coloration serves multiple purposes beyond mere aesthetics. During breeding season, flamingos with the most intense pink coloration are preferentially chosen as mates, as their bright plumage signals good health, strong foraging abilities, and genetic fitness. The birds can even control the intensity of their coloration by selectively feeding in areas rich with specific types of algae and crustaceans. Masters of extreme environments. Flamingos have conquered some of the planet's most inhospitable aquatic environments, from the alkaline lakes of East Africa's Rift Valley to the salt flats of South America's Atacama Desert. These environments, often too hostile for most other life forms, provide flamingos with abundant food sources and relatively few predators. Lake Natron in Tanzania represents perhaps the most extreme of these habitats. With pH levels reaching 12, nearly as alkaline as ammonia, and temperatures that can exceed 140 degrees Fahrenheit 60 degrees Celsius, this lake would be lethal to most creatures. Yet millions of lesser flamingos call it home, feeding on the specialized bacteria and algae that thrive in these harsh conditions. The birds have evolved remarkable physiological adaptations to survive here, including specialized salt glands near their eyes that filter excess salt from their bloodstream and thick, leathery skin on their legs that resists the caustic water. Their feeding apparatus represents one of nature's most sophisticated filtration systems. The flamingo's beak functions like an inverted pump, with the upper mandible remaining stationary while the muscular tongue moves rapidly back and forth. This creates a pumping action that draws water and food particles into the mouth, where comb-like structures called lamellae trap the tiny organisms while allowing water to flow out. Different flamingo species have evolved varying beak shapes and lamellae spacing to target specific food sources. Greater flamingos, with their more open lamellae, primarily feed on larger organisms like brine shrimp and small fish, while lesser flamingos have tighter filtration systems perfect for capturing microscopic blue-green algae. The ballet of social life. Perhaps nowhere is the flamingo's secret life more fascinating than in their complex social behaviors. These birds live in massive colonies that can number in the hundreds of thousands, creating some of the most spectacular wildlife gatherings on Earth. The famous flocks of East Africa's Rift Valley lakes can stretch for miles, creating living pink carpets across the landscape. Within these vast assemblages exists an intricate social hierarchy and communication system. Flamingos engage in elaborate group displays that serve multiple functions, from establishing dominance relationships to coordinating breeding activities. The famous marching behavior, where hundreds of birds move in synchronized formations with heads held high and necks stretched, isn't merely ornamental but serves as a crucial bonding mechanism that strengthens social cohesion within the colony. Their vocalizations are equally sophisticated, with researchers identifying distinct calls for different situations. Contact calls help individuals locate family members within the chaos of the colony, while threat calls warn of approaching predators. Young flamingos develop unique vocal signatures that allow their parents to identify them among thousands of other chicks, a remarkable feat considering the acoustic cacophony of a large colony. The birds also engage in mutual preening behaviors that serve both practical and social functions. Beyond maintaining feather condition, these grooming sessions strengthen pair bonds and reduce stress levels within the group. Flamingos have been observed showing clear preferences for certain preening partners, suggesting the formation of friendship-like relationships. Architectural marvels. Nest building and reproduction. When breeding season arrives, flamingo colonies transform into bustling construction sites. These birds are master architects, creating cone-shaped nests from mud, stones, and organic debris that can withstand flooding and temperature extremes. Each nest is carefully engineered with a depression at the top to hold a single precious egg. The nest-building process reveals remarkable problem-solving abilities. Flamingos collect materials from considerable distances, often traveling several miles to find the perfect mud consistency or stones of the right size. They use their beaks as precision tools, carefully shaping and molding each nest to exact specifications. The height of the nest is crucial. Too low and the egg might be flooded during rain, too high and it becomes unstable. Both parents share incubation duties, with shifts lasting several hours. The adults must carefully position themselves over the nest, balancing their considerable weight while maintaining constant contact with the egg. During this vulnerable period, non-breeding birds often serve as sentries, watching for predators and sounding alarm calls when threats approach. When the chick hatches after 28 to 32 days of incubation, it emerges as a gray, downy ball with a straight beak that will gradually develop the characteristic curve over several months. The chick is fed a nutritious secretion called crop milk, produced by both parents in their digestive systems. This protein and fat-rich substance is dyed bright red by carotenoid pigments, giving flamingo chicks their only early exposure to the colors they'll eventually display. The Great Migrations. Following ancient pathways. Flamingo migrations represent some of the most spectacular and mysterious journeys in the animal kingdom. These birds undertake massive movements across continents, following routes that have remained unchanged for thousands of years. Their migrations are triggered by a complex interplay of environmental factors including water levels, food availability, weather patterns, and breeding cycles. East African flamingos may travel over 300 miles in a single night, navigating through darkness using a combination of celestial navigation, magnetic compass sense, and geographical landmarks. Their ability to predict environmental changes is remarkable. Flocks often begin moving days or even weeks before conditions at their current location become unsuitable. During migration, flamingos demonstrate extraordinary endurance, flying at altitudes up to 15,000 feet and maintaining speeds of 35 miles per hour for hours at a time. Their efficient cardiovascular system and specialized respiratory adaptations allow them to extract maximum oxygen from thin mountain air while maintaining the energy demands of sustained flight. The timing of these migrations often coincides with seasonal rains that create temporary lakes and wetlands along their routes. Flamingos possess an almost supernatural ability to locate these ephemeral water bodies, sometimes appearing at newly formed lakes within hours of their creation. Scientists believe they may use infrasound, low-frequency sound waves that travel great distances, to detect distant rainfall and flooding. Conservation challenges in a changing world. Despite their apparent abundance in some locations, flamingo populations face increasing pressures from human activities and climate change. Many of their specialized habitats are under threat from agricultural development, mining operations, and urban expansion. The alkaline lakes they depend on are particularly vulnerable to water extraction and pollution. Lake Nakuru in Kenya, once home to over 1 million flamingos, has seen dramatic population declines due to rising water levels and increased pollution from surrounding agricultural areas. Similar patterns are occurring across Africa and South America, where industrial development and climate change are altering the delicate chemical balance of flamingo habitats. The birds' highly specialized feeding requirements make them particularly vulnerable to environmental changes. A shift in water chemistry or temperature can eliminate their primary food sources within days, forcing entire colonies to abandon traditional feeding areas. As climate change intensifies weather patterns, these disruptions are becoming more frequent and severe. Human disturbance poses another significant threat. Flamingo colonies are extremely sensitive to disruption, and even well-meaning tourists or researchers can cause entire flocks to abandon nesting sites. The birds' tendency to concentrate in large numbers makes them particularly vulnerable to disease outbreaks and catastrophic events. Intelligence beyond beauty. Recent research has revealed that flamingos possess cognitive abilities far more sophisticated than previously imagined. These birds demonstrate remarkable memory capabilities, remembering feeding locations, migration routes, and individual relationships across multiple seasons. They show evidence of cultural learning, with young birds acquiring specialized knowledge from experienced adults about optimal feeding techniques and habitat selection. Flamingos have been observed using tools in captivity, manipulating objects to obtain food or create more comfortable resting areas. They display complex problem-solving abilities and can adapt their behavior to novel situations. Some individuals act as leaders during migrations or feeding movements, with others following their decisions even when it contradicts the majority's initial preferences. Their social intelligence extends to cooperation and conflict resolution. Flamingos engage in complex negotiations over nesting territories and feeding spots, often settling disputes through ritualized displays rather than physical confrontation. They show evidence of reconciliation behaviors, actively working to repair relationships after conflicts. The future of pink. As we continue to unlock the secrets of flamingo behavior and ecology, these remarkable birds serve as indicators of environmental health and climate stability. Their presence signals the existence of unique ecosystems that support countless other species, while their absence warns of ecological degradation. Conservation efforts are increasingly focusing on protecting entire watershed systems rather than individual lakes or colonies. International cooperation is essential, as flamingo populations cross multiple national boundaries during their migrations. Successful conservation requires understanding not just the birds themselves, but the complex web of environmental factors that sustain their specialized lifestyles. The Secret Life of Flamingos reveals creatures of unexpected complexity and intelligence, perfectly adapted to thrive in some of Earth's most challenging environments. Their story is one of resilience, adaptation, and the intricate beauty of evolutionary specialization. As we face an uncertain environmental future, the flamingo's ability to navigate change while maintaining their ancient traditions offers both inspiration and a reminder of what we stand to lose if we fail to protect these living treasures and the remarkable ecosystems they call home. In watching a flock of flamingos move across a shimmering lake, we witness not just a beautiful spectacle, but a master class in survival, cooperation, and the endless creativity of life itself. Their secret lives, slowly being revealed through careful research and observation, remind us that even the most familiar creatures can surprise us with their complexity and depth. The flamingo's true secret may be their ability to find grace and beauty in the harshest places, transforming barren landscapes into scenes of almost supernatural wonder.